here's what I needed to know, so here's what you might want to know. If writer's block is real, then we need to get down to the bottom of what writer's block is. And what writing block is a lack of creative ideas. Mind you, as a preface, I'm a fiction thriller writer. That's it. That's all I do. So this doesn't apply to non-fiction memoirs. Okay? Here, if we're going to say that writer's block exists, then we need to overcome writer's block. And how do we do that? Well, how we do that is we revise and edit the work that's already been started. Now, there are other videos that are more directly related to you haven't written before and how do you get that first word, that first sentence, that first paragraph out there, right? How do you write the first chapter? That's not this video though. Okay, this is you've written half of the book and now you're stuck in a situation where you're going, man, I'm not as creative as I could be. I'm not as creative as I should be. I'm not as creative as I've shown that I can be. And so the words that are coming out aren't matching my skill level. Right? That's what we're saying. We spend a lot of time thinking about publishing and thinking about networking and thinking about telling people about our books and will you buy this and I need a blurb and I need this and I need that. But what we don't spend a tremendous amount of time on is revising after we edit, and then revise and then edit. And part of the reason that most of us don't do that is because it becomes an OCD cycle where we start and we never really stop. And by the time we're done with it, the story's changed so many hands, per se, that it's no longer the same story. You're finding time to write, right? And so that's ideal. You have found the time. You manage the time that you have to put in creative resources, and it can be frustrating when you allot a certain amount of time for you to do this and you're committed to it and you're dedicated to it and you sit down to type and you put your fingers up there. Shit. Nothing. Why though? Why? Right? I look around. I literally look around for inspiration. What can I use? What do I see? What's in my environment? Sometimes that doesn't work. Uh-oh, now I gotta go outside, take a walk. Maybe I should go socialize with a neighbor. Maybe I should go to the store. Maybe I should do something and live life to give myself something to write about. You've got to be able to expose yourself to the elements in order to have something to translate into fiction. For some of you, you're just that good. For some of us others, we want to take a little bit of pride in our work and ensure that the quality is reaching the page. And then, are you using, say, techniques, right? We're talking about environment. There's also free writing, freelancing. There's outlining. There's so many options in the writing process that to say writer's block means that there is nothing that you can do in that moment that is progressing your work in progress. Who's telling people this? Who's telling people that there's a such thing as writer's block? Journalists can't have it. Maybe you're like me and you find that challenging is so editing and arduous and it sounds like listening to monotone me. Really, right? It seems like I'm cutting unnecessary content. I'm sure I'm improving clarity during this editing process, but goodness, is ensuring accuracy worth the editing process? You know, I get to that, right? So it's like if you had to focus or challenge yourself on one side or the other, right? Would you take the other position? Would you rather edit and revise, or would you rather overcome your writer's block? See how those are intertwined? You can't have writer's block if you're editing. You can't. And then you're refining that editing. Do you see how the writer's block stopped? Maybe you could try using writing exercises and prompts. Perhaps, right, it'll spark your imagination. Perhaps there's something that can improve a specific skill that maybe you're having some imposter syndrome with. And then play around with character development, right? Because character development really brings your character to life. That's why people read the books. They want to identify with your character, right? Or feel like they could, in some fucking imaginary world, agree with what your character's doing and they could do it too, right? That's kind of the whole goal of this. One thing I would check is to make sure that the genre you're writing is the genre that you should be reading. If I start writing science fiction, man, I'll just end up going to sleep. I'll just hang the book up and it's just going to be done. It's not my style. Nonfiction, just boring, man. Boring to me. So are you sure the genre that you're in is the genre that you should be? For those of you who use tools of some kind, resources, recommended writing software and applications, or even just helpful writing websites and communities, could you guys stick those in the comments below, please, to help the entire community out? Writer's block, although I don't believe in it, is a real struggle, okay? It's something that a lot of people are internalizing, and there's not a lot of resources that are available to help. So for those of you who do have resources and tools, please let us know in the comments below. Put links if you have them.